Last week we focused a lot on breathing, and so I've heard from several of you that that landed pretty well. That you kind of liked that, right? Okay, we can do a little bit more on breathing. Um, again, with the heat and humidity, sometimes it does get a little bit hard to breathe. The air, we haven't had the best air quality actually for a while with the fires and all that kind of stuff. So it has been a little bit challenging. So we'll focus a little bit on breathing again today. Um, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. All right, goodbye. No, just kidding. All right, so let's come right up to the front edge of the chair and have your and don't fall off. No, and have your feet right underneath your knees. And look down at your feet. If you've got your shoes off, look at your toes. See if you got some space in there. And if you don't have some space in there, see if you can spread your toes out a little bit and put them down. Even if you have your socks and shoes on, same thing. You just won't have the visual kind of connection. And then press down into your heels and press down into the balls of your feet. And when I say the balls of your feet, I mean this part of the big toe, like where the big toe sprouts out of the foot, and then the little toe, where the little toe sprouts out of the foot as well. So those are the big and little toe ball mounds. So it's like a tripod on each foot, right? So you got the heels, and then you got the big toe ball mound and the little toe ball mound, and you're kind of pressing down. And then the toes, the bottoms of the toes, are just pressing down lightly. And notice you probably either stopped breathing or your breathing got really shallow because you're focusing on what's happening in the feet. So just let the feet do what they're doing now and sit up nice and tall and get your shoulders over your hips and your head. Just kind of move your head a little bit. A lot of times we get stuck in like this position or this position. So see if you can just move your head a little bit, get it to a place where it's free. And then imagine your head is like a water balloon and it's just kind of sitting right on top of your shoulders. So we've got the feet pressing into the floor lightly, got the shoulders over the hips, and we've got the head right on top of the shoulders. And then if it's comfortable to close your eyes, you can go ahead and do that now. And again, closing the eyes, what that does is it sort of brings your attention into your body. So you're not distracted by anything visual. Human beings are incredibly visual creatures, so we get very easily distracted by anything that comes across our line of sight. So it's often helpful to just close your eyes. And if that just feels uncomfortable for whatever reason, if you drop your gaze down at the floor about 2 or 3 feet in front of you and just focus maybe on a little spot or something on the floor, you'll notice that everything else in the room sort of goes into your peripheral vision. It gets just kind of a little bit foggy out there. So that can help with your focus and attention as well. And now turn your awareness to your breath. And notice the way air is moving in and out of your body. So you don't need to change anything about how you're breathing, you're just watching the air. And you might ask yourself some questions. Can I breathe in and out through my nose? Sometimes mouth breathing is a habit. We can just sort of change that habit by just gently putting the lips together and then letting the air try and move in and out through the nose. And notice if your breath is fast or slow. If it's shallow or deep. And can you begin to slow the breathing down? So just a little bit at a time. With each breath in and out, just slow that rate a little bit more. And one way to slow that is to exaggerate the length of the inhalation and exaggerate the length of the exhalation. You might visualize your body like a balloon. And as you inhale, it's like blowing up the balloon. And as you exhale, it's like letting the air out of the balloon. Breathing in and breathing out. A little bit longer, a little bit slower with each inhalation and exhalation. And see if you can really lengthen the inhalations and really lengthen the exhalations. As you breathe in, can you feel the movement in your body? Do you feel it in your belly, your rib cage, up into your collarbones? Can you feel movement in the sides of your body, underneath your arms, down along the sides of the ribs or the sides of the waist? And what about in the back of the body? Can you feel the back of the body expanding and contracting? So just like a balloon, your body is three-dimensional. Got the front, the back, and the sides. As you continue with this breathing, bring your attention to the tops of your shoulders. And as you inhale, let the breath bring your shoulder tops up a little bit. So you're not contracting your muscles and raising your shoulder tops. You're letting the breath bring the shoulder tops up. And as you exhale, the shoulder tops go down. So with each subsequent breath, every time you inhale, the shoulder tops go up. And each time you exhale, the shoulder tops go down. And again, you're not engaging your muscles and raising your shoulders that way or lowering them that way. It's all happening with the breath. So for most of us, that means we're going to have to inhale even more. As you feel your shoulder tops rising and falling, we're going to add a little something onto this breathing. So with your next inhalation and subsequent inhalations, you're going to just take your arms and float them out to the sides to about shoulder height. So that's on the inhalation. And on the exhalation, lower them down. So let the breath do a little bit of an assist here. So it's not just the muscles in your arms and shoulders that are raising your arms up. It's the breath. So as you inhale, the arms float up as the chest rises and the shoulders float up. And as you exhale, the arms lower down as the chest falls and the shoulders move down. And the next time that you inhale your arms up to the side, you're going to hold your arms here and continue to breathe. So holding the arms, and they're really relaxed. So relax the arms as much as you can. So your fingers are just kind of hanging down, your wrists are a little bit limp, your elbows a little bit bent. And breathe in and out and see if you can feel your arms lifting and lowering slightly. Just 2 more breaths. Feeling the arms gently rising and gently falling with each breath in and out. And with your third exhalation, you're going to lower your arms right back down to your lap. Still continuing to breathe deeply in and out, feeling the shoulders rising and falling. Feeling the chest rising and falling. Feeling the rib cage and the belly expanding and contracting. And now take the biggest, deepest breath you can possibly take and hold it. And let it out with a sigh. Let your eyes gently open and roll your shoulders up and around and down. And as you're rolling your shoulders, turn your head very slowly and gently from side to side. Listen for any noise in there. Look for any flat spots as you're kind of moving the shoulders. Does it feel round when you go up and down and back and forth? Or are there spots that it feels a little flat? And then reverse the direction of your shoulder movements. Good. Great. And then take your hands together. Interlace your fingers really gently. We're going to press the palms away. Drop your chin to your chest. Draw the chin in toward your collarbones. Breathe in and breathe out. And see if you can feel what's happening in the upper part of your back. So see if you can breathe into the back of your body. And with your next inhalation, you're going to lift your head and lift your arms up overhead and go as far as you can. So if your arms don't go up this high, you can go this high, however high you go. And then hold here and press up through the heels of your hands and get a little taller in your chair. So feel from your hips all the way up to your armpits, getting a little bit taller here. Breathing in and breathing out. And see what's happening in the sides of your body. So in the ribs. Maybe in the front or the back, in the ribs as well. Thinking about the lower ribs just kind of belling out a little bit. And with your next exhalation, you're going to release your fingers, let your arms float all the way down. Take your hands back together, interlace the opposite way. So whichever finger, thumb was on the top, now it's going to be on the bottom. So interlace so that it feels a little strange. It should feel like you're holding somebody else's hand. And then you're going to press your palms away. And again, draw the chin in toward the collarbones. Breathe in and out into the upper part of the back. See if you can still feel your shoulders rising and falling, your shoulder tops, that is. Next inhalation, arms come way up overhead as high as you can. If you can't bring them up directly up overhead, that's okay. Just go as high as you can. Breathe in and out and feel again, sides of the body, front of the body, like the lower rib cage. See if you can feel your rib cage kind of belling out a little bit. Oh, that's opposite. Good. One more deep breath in and out. And then release your arms. Let them come all the way down. Let your hands rest on your lap. Let's roll those shoulders one more time. Good. All right, we're going to take that right shoulder and roll just the right shoulder and go way up. Bring the shoulder right up to your ear and then way down. So right up to your ear and then way down. We're going to do that a few times. So when I bring the shoulder up to the ear, I remember old telephones. Remember the telephone? You'd be doing something and you got to do this? Yeah. And then reverse direction. And let's do the same thing now on the other side. So left side, bring that shoulder up like you got an old phone going up to your ear. And a very long extension cord, right? Yes, you'd strangle other people in the house, right, if they walked by. Gosh. And then reverse direction. Excellent. Okay, and then relax that a little bit. Let's take the arms out to the sides. Bring your palms up and have your hands slightly lower than your shoulders. Reach out through the palms of your hands. Reach out through your fingers like you could touch the wall on one side of the room and then the other. Okay, so using the palms as sort of the orientation here, we're going to turn the palms forward all the way down and toward the back of the room, right? And then reverse that. Come all the way up. So we're getting this movement. Can you feel it in the wrists and the elbows and the shoulders? And as you roll, try not to bring your shoulders up to your ears. Try and keep the shoulders down nice and low, right? And see how far you can go. So when you turn your palms down and back, can you rotate your arms so your palms come up toward the ceiling again? And when you roll this way, can you turn your palms toward the back of the room again, right? So some of us have better range of movement, or not better, more range of movement when we go forward. Some of us have more range of movement when we go backwards. Now, as you're doing this, I'm going to have you lower your arms. So we're still doing all this nice rotation, but we're bringing the arms right down by the sides. And then we're going to continue to rotate as we bring the arms up just to a little bit below shoulder height. So we don't want to go up above shoulder height. Everybody's got this, right? No? Maybe. Looks like everybody's doing okay. All right, so how about we add some breathing with this? Okay, that might be fun. So as you're rotating, let's take some nice deep breaths in and out. And see if you can coordinate raising the arms with breathing in and lowering the arms with breathing out. So this is really complex movement here, right? So it might be a little confusing for the brain. What am I doing here? I'm raising the arms, I'm twisting everything around, and I got to breathe too. And then I got to lower and twist, and I got to breathe then too. So just a couple more of these. Excellent. And then we're going to bring the arms down, let the hands come to the lap, close your eyes for a moment, take a couple of breaths in and out. Just notice what you feel in your hands, your wrists, your elbows, your forearms, your upper arms, your shoulders, maybe up into your back or your chest. Take a deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. Good. And now you're going to take your right hand and make a very loose fist, just a loose fist, and extend your thumb. You know, like you're saying A-OK, right? So you're going to take your arm down by your side, sort of just let it hang down by your side. Your head, think of your head staying level, right? So we're not going to look down at the thumb by turning the head. But what I'm going to do is keep my head nice and level and then turn your eyes down and see if you can spy that thumb. If you can't see your thumb, just raise your arm up a little bit till it just gets into your vision, right? So not in your direct vision, but you can just catch that thumb in your peripheral vision. For some people, it's going to be up higher. For some people, it's going to be lower. Doesn't matter. It's just where it is for you. Okay, so you're just sort of looking down there. You got that thumb in your peripheral vision. Take a couple of breaths. And now keep looking at the thumb as you raise your arm up, and notice at what point it switches from peripheral vision to direct vision, and then continue up. So we're bringing the arm to just about shoulder height. Breathing in, breathing out. And again, holding your head nice and steady, so you're not moving your head, you're just moving your eyes. You're going to bring your right arm way out to the side and follow your thumb with your gaze. Go as far as you can. You'll notice that you lose the direct vision and then you have to switch to peripheral vision. Keep going until you just about lose that thumb. Keep breathing. It's very tempting to stop breathing when we're doing exercises like this, movements like this. So when you've gotten to the end of range, so you sort of lost your thumb, it's just sort of, it just fell over the edge. I got to go back a little bit. Breathe in and out. And then slowly bring the arm back. And as you do, notice at what point you switch from peripheral vision to direct vision. You can even pause. I like to pause just to say, oh yeah, there it is. And then bring it all the way back. Notice it takes your eyes just a minute or two to kind of get back to where they are. And now we're just going to lower down. And again, you're following your thumb, but you're not moving your head. And you're bringing the thumb down. Notice where you switch from direct to peripheral vision. And then close your eyes, bring that hand to your lap, take some breaths in and out. And notice what you feel in the right side of your body. You might feel something different in your eyes or your face, your neck, your shoulder. Your arm might feel like a little too long for your body right now. And notice your breathing. Does it feel easier to breathe now that you're not doing all that real intense focus and concentration? So notice what that feels like. Big breath in. Let it out with a sigh. Eyes can gently open. Left hand, very light little fist, thumb extended, right? We're going to take that thumb out, just kind of fix your gaze on it. Hello, thumb. And then we're going to lower that thumb all the way down without moving your head now. You're following your thumb with your eyes. When you just about lose it, so when you get to that place where the thumb is in your peripheral vision, but if you went any farther, you wouldn't be able to see it. Breathe in, breathe out. And it can be, you can be out to the side, you can be close to your body, you can be forward a little bit, doesn't matter. So everybody's vision is a little bit different. Let's take some nice, relaxing breaths in and out. So this kind of movement, again, can be a little stressful for the nervous system because we're trying to focus on the thumb. We're trying to look at it with our peripheral vision and then notice where we switch to direct vision. So slowly start to raise your arm up. Notice when you switch from peripheral to direct, if it's a different location than it was on the other side. So for most of us, that's going to be true. Our vision is different from one eye to the other. And when you get your arm up, again, you want to keep it a little bit lower than your shoulder. You don't want to create any excess tension in that shoulder. Going to breathe in and out, and then move that arm out to the side. Follow your thumb with your gaze. When you get to a certain point, you'll notice that you lose the direct vision, and you have to switch to peripheral vision, and then see how far you can go before you lose that. Keep breathing in and out. Notice how the breath really wants to get shallow, right? It really wants to disappear when we're kind of noticing something that's so intensely focused. And then let's slowly bring that thumb back. And again, when your vision switches from peripheral to direct, you might just pause and say, oh yeah, there it is. Coming right back to the center and then slowly lowering down. So we're going back to that starting point. Breathing in, breathing out. Noticing where you lose it. Then close your eyes. Let that hand come back to your lap. Take some nice full deep breaths in and out and just notice for a moment. The hand, the wrist, the elbow, arm. That's the lower arm and the upper arm. Shoulder, neck. Big breath in, let it out with a sigh. Let your eyes open. So how many of you noticed it was really different one side to the other? Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? I noticed on one side when I was looking and I was losing the vision, actually it was on this side, when I was losing the vision, my nose got in the way. Did anybody else notice that? Did anybody else's nose get in the way? Yeah, it was like, hey, get that out of there. I could keep going, but my nose got in the way. So it's really interesting to note the difference in our vision. And how many of you noticed that your breathing changed? Yeah, right? So we're doing some really intense focused work. That's a really good example of what happens to us when we're focused on tasks that kind of take us out of where we're at, right? So, and I hate to bash technology all the time, but that happens with technology because we almost go into an alternate universe, right? We're on the computer or the phone or the iPad or whatever it is, and we kind of lose our reality here and we forget that we're breathing. Okay, so let's do a little bit more with this whole idea of connecting vision and movement. And we're going to take the arm up in front, the right arm up in front with the thumb. And we're going to bring the thumb up and to the left, and you're going to follow that. Now you can turn your head and your body as well. And then we're going to bring the arm all the way down and to the right. and bring it way back as far as it'll go. So we're getting a little bit of a twist here. So if you're not sure, you can just have a look up here. So we're breathing in and out, and we're doing a nice slow swing with that arm. So once again, just noticing the breath. And as you're doing this, I want you to notice when the arm comes up especially, that your thumb stays in your direct vision and the whole room is sort of in relief behind it, right? It's sort of a little foggy or a little blurry, out of focus. Good. And one more time, we're going to go up and back. Great. And then take that hand to the lap. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So left hand up, thumb kind of right in your vision, and then go up and to the right. And follow it all the way down to the left and go behind you if you can. Breathing in and breathing out. So everybody's kind of going at their own pace, right? Depending on how your breathing is going. So if you're breathing more quickly, you're moving a little more quickly. See if you can slow it down. And as you're inhaling and that thumb is coming up, notice where you're feeling movement in your body. Great. Last time we're going to go all the way up, then all the way down. And then let that hand come back to the lap. Close your eyes. Breathe in, breathe out. See if you can visualize internally that movement that we did with the right hand and thumb. So going up into the left and then down to the right, and then on the other side, taking that left thumb up into the right and then down to the left. Big breath in, let it out with a sigh. Eyes can open, and then take the chin right down into the notch of the collarbones. So sitting up nice and tall. Notice if your shoulders have come forward of your hips. See if you can bring your shoulders back a little bit. You might sit into the back of your sitting bones, right? So sometimes we're sitting forward and the weight is right here on the knees or on the feet. So we really want to be back on the sitting bones, and the chin is tucked right into the notch of the collarbones. And we did this a couple of weeks ago, so as you tuck your chin in, pull it in as tightly as you can and swallow. And do that a couple of times. Breathing in and out between swallows, so don't swallow like quickly in quick succession. But notice if that feels a little weird. Might feel like the throat is really kind of restricted. And then lift your chin up and turn your head to the right so that your chin is coming up over your shoulder, right? And now with your head turned to the right, drop your chin down a little closer to your shoulder, just a little closer. So you should feel a bit of a stretch through the left side or the front or the back of the neck. And again, let's do 3 swallows. So take your time with that, right? So do a swallow and then breathe in and out to kind of relax a little bit. And then do your second one and then the same thing for the third. And after you've finished your third swallow, you can lift your chin up, turn back to center, and then turn to the left. Drop that chin way down close to the shoulder. So you're creating a little bit of restriction here on this left side. And again, we're going to do the 3 swallows. So very slowly, make sure you have an inhale and an exhale, at least one inhale and exhale between each swallow. So you don't want to do it too quickly. Breathing in, breathing out. And after your third swallow, you're going to lift your chin and turn your head back to center. Close your eyes for a moment and just notice your neck, your shoulders, your throat. Notice your face. Notice if your face got a little contracted doing that. And one more for the next. So take a breath in, let it out with a sigh. Let your eyes open, and we're going to do one more neck movement here. So you're going to take your right ear to your right shoulder. As you take your right ear to your right shoulder, see if you can relax this left side a little bit. This can be really challenging. So you're going to take your left hand off your lap and let it hang down. And imagine we've tied like little tiny weights to your fingertips. And those little weights are pulling your fingers down toward the floor. Now take your right hand and bring it up and over your head to the left side. So your hand is kind of resting near your left ear, right? So your palm is kind of cradling your head a little bit. And then let the weight of this arm give a little traction. So you're not pulling your head, you're not using your muscles to pull, but your arm is kind of heavy and relaxed. And you'll feel a little bit more stretch through that left side. So breathing in and breathing out, we're going to hold the head here. And slowly on the inhalation, take that left arm out to the side, lower than shoulder height, so don't go above shoulder height, and then slowly lower down. And remember, there's weights on the fingers, right? So as you're breathing in, the arm is slowly coming up, and as you're breathing out, the arm is slowly coming down, and see if you can keep that right ear moving toward the shoulder, so it's like the head is getting heavier here. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time, lifting. And when you lower, I want you to imagine the weights on your fingers just got heavier and they're pulling down. So actively reach your fingertips down toward the floor. Breathe in, breathe out. So really stretching the fingers toward the floor and really using the weight of the arm to traction the head. And now keeping the left hand down, like you're reaching toward the floor, you're going to release your right hand. Let it come down to your lap. Your ear is still on your shoulder. And now you're just going to drop your chin toward your collarbones. And slowly bring your head up. Close your eyes for a moment. You can let your hands rest on your lap. Notice if the left side of your neck feels different than the right side. Notice if your left shoulder or arm feel different than the right. Big breath in, let it out with a sigh. Eyes open. Take that left ear to the left shoulder. So left ear to left shoulder. Give it a moment here. So the muscles here on the right side, they're going to take just a moment or two to kind of get the message that it's okay to let go. So after a couple of breaths, you're going to take your your right hand and let it just kind of hang down. And we've transferred those little weights now to the fingers on your right hand, so the right fingers are being pulled toward the floor. And you're going to take your left hand now, bring it out to the side, up and around. Place the palm of the hand near the right ear. Just kind of cradle or cup your head with your hand. And then allow this arm to get very heavy, right? So the weight of the arm is just kind of pulling the head over, but you're not engaging the muscles and actively pulling down. You're just letting the weight of the arm pull the head over. Breathing in, breathing out. And you're reaching the fingers down. So remember, you got weights on the fingers, right? So we're still reaching the fingers, and as you breathe in, bring that arm out to the side. Don't go any higher than shoulder height, though. And then slowly lower down on the exhalation. So this is a movement with the breath, right? So we're inhaling the arm up and exhaling the arm down, and you're going very slowly, right? So that means you're breathing slowly. So breath is smooth, easy, steady. And as you do, notice if your your left ear is getting closer to your left shoulder. Notice if the right side is getting a little bit more of a stretch, right? Breathing in, breathing out. And the next time that your arm comes down, so remember, no higher than shoulder height. Next time your arm comes down, we're going to hold here and imagine those weights are even heavier and reach those fingers toward the floor. And relax the muscles on the right side of your neck. Relax into your breathing, so you're slowly breathing in, breathing out. And then release your hand from your head. Let that hand come down to your lap. Take your other hand, place it on your lap. And now just kind of gently roll your chin toward your collarbones. And then slowly come back up. Closing your eyes once again, taking some breaths in and out. Notice your neck and your shoulders. Big breath in, let it out with a sigh. Eyes open, take your hands right up to the shoulder tops, like where the neck and the shoulder tops meet, and using the pads of your fingers, you're just going to give a little massage in there. So just a nice little massage, circling around or pressing down and letting go. You can go up into the back of your neck. You can massage anywhere here as long as you stay behind your ears, right? So you don't want to come to the front. Got a lot of nerves and blood vessels out there. We just want to make sure we stay safe. So you can get into these nice big knots up here. I don't know if anybody else has knots in the tops of the shoulders. I got some doozies up here. And then the back of the neck. You might feel some knots there too. So just kind of pressing and rolling in and out. This is so much better when somebody else does it. So much better. But we'll take what we can get, right? All right. And then let your arms come down. Good. How are we doing? All right. So let's take our movement a little bit down the spine. So we've done an awful lot with the neck, because the neck and the shoulders, this is really very connected to our breathing. We don't think about neck and shoulders as being connected to breathing, but your lungs, I think I was talking about this last week, that your lungs are actually up this high, right? Your lungs are higher than you think they are. So in order for them to fill, in order for your lungs to expand completely, we need to have this kind of openness and resilience in the chest, and oftentimes that means the shoulder tops and the shoulders need to relax a little bit. So we're going to shift it down just a bit and into our favorite spot, everybody's favorite spot, which is right up here between the shoulder blades, right? How many people have like tension or tightness between the shoulder blades? Yeah, like everybody. And if you don't, you might want to check that out, because I bet you do. So it's just our, it's just our society. It's just how we move, how we sit, right? So we sit, or when we stand, right? We stand and we kind of slump a little bit. Sometimes vision and hearing can impact how we hold our bodies. We don't think about that, but when you can't see something, right? Yeah, we kind of do that. When you can't hear something, yeah. So we kind of twist and contort our bodies in these interesting ways. So the muscles between your shoulder blades, right up here. So the muscles here, they pull, when they contract, they pull your scapulas toward your spine. So your scapulas are those are your shoulder blades, right? So they pull your shoulder blades together. And then it's actually the muscles here in the front of the body that pull you forward, right? So when we're gonna do this movement, we're gonna focus on the muscles here in the front and the muscles in the back distinctly, okay? So on the inhalations, we're gonna engage those muscles back there and we're gonna pull the shoulder blades back. And then on the exhalations, we're gonna engage the muscles here and push forward. So that's stretching the muscles in the back of the body. Got that? There'll be a quiz at the end, so remember your muscles. All right, so take your hands forward, sort of in a neutral position, right? So neutral meaning hands aren't higher than your shoulders, and your shoulder blades are neither pulled back nor pulled off your back, right? So we're just kind of holding out here. Relax your neck and your jaw, right? So when these muscles are not doing their work, they recruit all the muscles up in here to do the work for them. So now what we're going to do is focusing not on the hands and not on the arms necessarily, but on these muscles here. On an inhalation, you're going to pull your shoulder blades together, draw the elbows back. And then on the exhalation, you're going to engage the muscles here and push the arms forward and really squeeze these muscles when you get your arms forward. So breathing in, squeezing the muscles between the shoulder blades, breathing out, squeezing the muscles in the front of the chest. Got that? Now you might be going, I can't feel any muscles. I'm just breathing and moving my arms. I have no idea what I'm doing here. And that's okay. If your muscles have not been doing this kind of work, they might be a little sleepy. They might not really know what the heck to do. So this is where our focus and our breathing can really help. So when you're breathing in, I want you to picture those muscles in the back squeezing in and pulling those shoulder blades in. And then when you come forward, picture these muscles, nice strong pectoral muscles, pushing, right? And you might even close your eyes to do that. Might even close your eyes, right? And notice which is harder for you to feel, the going forward or the going back. And how about one more time we go forward and back, or backward and forward. And then we're going to bring the hands down to the lap. Close your eyes for a moment, taking a couple of breaths in and out. I want you to notice if you can feel breath in that spot where we were just contracting in the back of the body and the front of the body. So picture it. I think we did this last week as well. I had you visualize yourself down inside your chest. So I want you to visualize, again with your eyes closed, visualize that you're down inside your chest, right at that upper back level. And as you're breathing in and out, see if you can feel the movement in the front and the back of the body. Right between the shoulder blades and right up in that upper chest. So the first time we felt movement there, we were actually moving the muscles, and this time we're just letting the breath do the movement. Take one more deep breath and let it out with a sigh. Eyes open. So how many of you found it easier, more, that there was more of a connection to your body when you pulled back? And how many felt it was easier, you felt more of a connection to your body when you pressed forward? Yeah, it's interesting to notice that, right? Interesting to notice that. Okay, so we're going to move down just a little bit more because we still have more breathing apparatus, right? So we were working in the area of the lungs, right? The upper part of the back and the upper part of the chest, that's the lungs. And as we come down into the rib cage, we've got, if you can take your hands, so if you can bring your hands like right here along your ribs, right? If that doesn't work, if you have a wonky shoulder or something, you can always just cross your arms and just go from one side to the other. So from here, take some nice deep breaths in and out. And see if you can breathe into the space that's under your hands. Those are your ribs, right? You got the right side of the rib cage and the left side of the rib cage. And really expand. And really contract. Can you all feel that movement? If two sides is not good, just do one side, that's okay. And then let that go. So could you all feel some movement in there? Yeah. So between your ribs, between each of your ribs, are muscles. They're called intercostal muscles. They actually expand and contract with your breathing. So if you're a little tight in there, that will also impact your breath. So your lungs are coming down, they're trying to fill, but if your muscles here in your rib cage are a little bit tight, it's going to be hard to get that really full deep breath. So let's do a little bit of stretching for the sides of the rib cage, those intercostal muscles on the left and on the right. So if you bring your feet a little wider than your hips, keep your left hand on your knee or your lap, so you're just giving yourself some support. And we're going to inhale and take the right arm way up overhead. And exhale, turn the palm out to the side and come all the way down. Right? So as you're breathing in, when you come up, turn your palm up. That just gives you more space at the head of your humerus and the top of your shoulder. The humerus, by the way, is the big bone in the top of your arm. You got one arm bone. No, you have 3 arm bones, but you have 1 arm bone in the top. Good. Everybody doing all right? You breathing? Yeah? So it's like a little dance with your body? Okay. So let's get that dance going a little bit more. So as you breathe in, we're going to come all the way over to the left. And then as you breathe out, you're going to come all the way down. Right? So let's do that a few times. Breathing in, up and over, and feel the rib cage stretch. You can feel the stretch in the side of the waist, right? Might even feel it down into the hip. Try not to hold your breath. I hear a lot of pausing out there with the breathing. So see if you can breathe in all the way. Keep breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, and then breathing out all the way. It takes a little more effort. Breathing in and breathing out. How about one more time? We're really going to stretch that right rib cage. And breathing out. Excellent. Hand comes to the lap. Take a moment. Notice right side and left side. If it's easier to close your eyes to feel that, I know it always is for me. If I'm going to feel something in my body, I would just want to close my eyes for a moment. And then notice if your right side of your body, the rib cage from your hip to your underarm, does it feel higher or longer or taller than the other side? Looser. That's a good one. And then you can let your eyes open. So let's do the same thing on the left now, right? So we want to get a little bit of space in there. So turning the palm up, we're breathing in. Let's just come straight up just to start because we want to warm up the shoulder joint, right? And down. Good. And again, turning the palm up, that just gives a little more space up here in that shoulder joint, especially if you've got a tricky little shoulder there. That can get a little cranky if you kind of have that arm bone come up too far. Okay, and then if you'd like, again, supporting yourself with your right hand, if you'd like, you can come way up and over. Now you got to lengthen that inhalation because you're still inhaling, and then you're exhaling, right? So it's a really long, slow, deep breath in as you lean. Feel your ab muscles, your belly muscles have to contract a little to help here, right? If they didn't, you might fall off your chair, and we don't want that. No toppling over. Good. Just a couple more. Excellent. Remember, you're breathing in all the way up and over. It's a big breath in, and it's a nice long breath out. How about one more? Can you do one more? I know you can. You can't answer me because you're breathing. That's okay. All right, and then let that hand come back to your lap. Once again, just kind of check in. Maybe close your eyes just for a moment. Notice right side, left side. What's going on here? Wow. Lots going on. You can let your eyes open. So hopefully your sides of your ribs feel a little more even than they did after we did the first time, right? Feel taller? A little taller? Okay, good. So if you're taller, we can twist now, right? Yeah, we don't want to twist when we're short. We want to twist when we're tall. So we're going to start by taking the left hand over to the right leg, somewhere on that right leg. And then you're going to take your right arm, sweep it out and around, and twist your body. See if you can get your hand to the back of your chair or over the back of your chair. And you can press just a little bit with that left hand. You can rest your arm on your chair, on the back of the chair. It's like you're going to have a little conversation with somebody behind you. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice if it's a little challenging to breathe here, right? So we're in a bit of a twist. It can be a little challenging to breathe. Are you leaning forward? If you're leaning forward, I'm going to have you see if you can bring your body upright. So this is a twist, not a lean. The palm is just sort of hanging down. Yep, it's totally relaxed back there. Thank you for that. And then we're going to untwist. So you can start with your head and then come back around. Good. Take your right hand over to your left. Take your left arm, stretch it out, bring it back there. Just kind of drape it over the back of your chair if you can. Try not to lean forward though, right? So let's unwind and come back. So I think maybe, if you can't get your arm up over the back of the chair, so if my shoulder is tight, I'm going to try and get that arm, because I was just saying put it on the back of the chair, I'm going to lean forward. So I'm going to change that cue a little bit. So we're going to bring the arm back. If you can't get the arm up without leaning forward, just let it hang down here on the side of the chair. That's absolutely fine. So the most important thing is that you're not leaning your body forward in this twist, that you're keeping your body upright. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah. So we want remember what I said, you don't want to twist when you're short, right? So I'm short when I'm like this. No, if you're naturally short like some of us, that's okay. Short people can twist. I didn't mean it that way. But if you're contracted in that shortened position, then that would be a problem. So we want to keep that length in the body to start. So take your right hand over to the left. And now take the left arm out behind. So again, Maybe on this side, I'm like, no, as soon as I start to lift that arm, I feel my body twisting. I'm just going to hold it right here. So we're twisting all the way out to the left as far as we can. You can press just lightly into your right hand. So you don't want to like really press hard and pull yourself. We're just twisting lightly over here. So breathe in, breathe out. Again, noticing if it's a little challenging to breathe in and out when you're twisting in this direction. And then unwinding and coming all the way back. Good. Let your hands rest on your lap and close your eyes for a moment. Take some nice full deep breaths in and out. And just notice what you're feeling here. And let your eyes open. So did anybody notice a big difference twisting one side to the other, that it was easier to breathe in one direction or the other? And some people know like it was equal, right? Okay, good. Just something to notice, right? So if you found it really easy to twist in one direction and really challenging to twist in the other direction, when you're doing these kinds of exercises, you might want to hang out a little bit longer in the side that takes a little more effort, because that just indicates that you might need just a little more attention there. So let's shift the focus now down a little bit more into the hips. So notice where your legs come into your hips, right? So that's the hip crease. It's like where your pants crease, right? So you come up the legs and you can feel that pants crease. So come up a little bit and see if you can feel the hip bones right there in the front. Can you all feel those hip bones? Okay, so we're going to try and get those hip bones a little closer to the leg bones without getting the chin bone close to the belly bone. Right? So in other words, it's going to be forward like this, not forward like this. Right? So I'll do that sideways. So the back is nice and straight. This is hip bones going to leg bones. And this would be chin bone going to belly bone. So we don't want to do that. Okay, so we're going to move forward and back. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Nice and slow and steady. You can have your hands wherever you'd like, maybe on your lap. If you're not sure where those hip bones are, you can kind of go back here, so that kind of bony part in the front. So we're just coming forward and then going back. And notice, as you come forward, can you come really far forward? And you may want to bring your feet a little wider than your hips, right? So when you bring your feet a little wider than your hips, it gives a little more space in here. If you have a little extra anatomy in the front, it can come forward. Good. How are we doing? Good. You're a quiet bunch today. Quiet bunch. Okay. So the next time that you come forward, we're going to hang out there for just a moment. And then see if you can get your right elbow and forearm down on your leg, right? This is like Rodin, the thinker, right? Sort of that piece of art. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to press the left hand into the left leg and twist to the left. So it's like you're turning up toward the ceiling. And then come back to center. So I'm going to say this once again. So the right arm is supporting you, right? So you're leaning on your right leg, and then you're using your left hand, and you're pushing a little bit into that leg, and you're twisting up and to the left. Now your right hand can be totally relaxed and hanging out between your knees. If your knees are a little closer together and you want to rest your hand on the other knee, you can do that. So what's happening in the right hand is that it's just kind of relaxed. So see if you can feel that twist in your spine, your neck, your upper back, your mid-back, your lower back. Should never hurt, right? So it might be a little uncomfortable, but it should never hurt. And one more time, just kind of twisting. And then coming back to center. Good. Now push into your left hand and push yourself up. Excellent. Take your hip bones to your leg bones once again. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to take the left elbow or forearm down onto that leg. And then pressing the right hand into the right leg, we're going to twist to the right as we breathe in and out, and then coming back, unwinding, right? So we're moving, twisting, using the arms, using the strength in the arms and shoulders to make the movement. Breathe in, breathe out. A little more complicated movement here for the spine, for the ribs. It's a little more complicated to breathe. Good, and then shifting the weight, all the weight into that right hand. We're going to push into the right hand and come all the way up. Excellent. Bring your feet a little closer. Good. Let's take those arms and we're going to circle them up and around a couple of times. Get your elbows in there too. So let's circle up and around. And the next time you're circled back, we're going to hold here like you're waking up from a nap, right? So you got this nice stretch going on. Lean to one side and then lean to the other side. And then as you're leaning to one side, take the other arm up and down, and you're breathing in and breathing out. So we're going from side to side a few times here, right? So going from side to side, it's like a big yawn getting ready to happen, right? If one person yawns in the room, we're all going to fall. We're all going to go with you. Why are yawns contagious? They feel good. Yeah, they do feel good. Huh. I know. I'm trying to get you to yawn. How about one more time? Up. And then the other side up. Oh, awesome. Oh, I feel one. It's like right there. All right. Let your hands rest on your lap. And if you'd like, you can sit more comfortably in your chair. If you want to sit into the back of your chair, you can do that. If you want to stay forward, you can. And then you're going to close your eyes. And breathing in, breathing out. We're going to take a little trip inside the body again. So imagine little you is right down inside of big you, right inside your chest. So you're sitting right in the center of your chest, and you can see your beautiful lungs, the right lung and the left lung. You can see your gracious heart. You can see all your ribs and those nice muscles between the ribs. And as you're breathing in and out, notice that the lungs are expanding when you inhale, so they're blowing up like little balloons. And as you exhale, they're deflating like little balloons. Now, what's interesting is that the lungs have lobes. So they're segments. So on the right side, you have 3 lobes, and it's like 3 little balloons. And on the left side, you have 2 segments or 2 lobes, and it's like 2 little balloons. So as you're watching these balloons filling and emptying, it's not just 2 balloons, you actually have 5 balloons in there. So as you inhale, can you fill all 3 balloons on the right and all 2 balloons on the left? And as you exhale, can you let the 3 on the right and the 2 on the left deflate? And as you're watching those beautiful balloons of your lungs filling and emptying, notice that your heart is beating. Can you kind of see in that internal vision your heart beating nice and strong? And the lungs and the heart do a little bit of a dance here. They're partners. When you breathe in, the lungs are bringing in oxygen, and it delivers that oxygen to the heart, where the heart sends it out to all the cells and tissues in your body. And then the heart does the job of taking all the carbon dioxide and bringing it back to the lungs. So when you exhale, the heart hands over all that carbon dioxide and says to the lungs, here, get rid of this, please. And the lungs breathe out. You breathe out and the lungs empty. So this little dance between your lungs and your heart goes on and on, breathing in, breathing out. Oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. Air in, air out. And the rib cage provides a beautiful container for all of this to happen because the lungs and the heart are so delicate. They're strong but delicate. So the rib cage offers its protection so that this dance can go on and on and on. Breathing in and breathing out. And the rib cage encourages the dance by expanding on the inhalations and gently contracting on the exhalations. It's like it becomes a partner in this dance as well. So you're sitting inside your chest. You're watching your lungs. You're watching your heart. You're watching your ribs. And noticing how they all work together. And the ability of your heart, your lungs, your ribcage to all work toward one common goal is the most important function in your body, because without breath there is no life. You can have disruptions in your digestion. You can't have disruptions for too long in your breathing. And then just to honor this companionship of the lungs, the heart, and the ribs, take your hands up to your chest somewhere. Just kind of hold your hands there, and as you continue to breathe in and out, see if now you can feel that movement from the outside, so you can feel the rib cage expanding and knowing that underneath that, those beautiful lungs are filling, those 3 balloons on the right and 2 balloons on the left. And the heart is saying, here, let me take that oxygen. And here, let me give you this carbon dioxide. And take one more really full, deep breath and let it out with a sigh. Ah. And then if you'd like, maybe take your hands together and take a moment just to appreciate this breathing operation in your body. And then if you'd like, you can open your eyes and just acknowledge all these other wonderful breathing humans here in the room. Yeah, good. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. All right. Well, good. We'll see you all next week. You're welcome.